Greetings. We have another message that is absolutely critical for the transformation of our condition. So we ask that you hit the thumbs up button for this video. Also subscribe. We could certainly use the publicity. We thank you for your time and consideration. What we want to address here, as the thumbnail indicates, is the understanding of the purpose of opposition. And we'll make this crystal clear with a very common analogy, a very common life situation that we're all familiar with. This message is applicable, first of all, to everyone across the four corners of the globe, but most especially to the black community, even more particularly the urban black community, because the urban black violence, particularly as perpetuated by our young black males, is absolutely alarming, and it deserves and demands our immediate and most earnest attention. So once again, the message is universal. Most, if not all, of my messages are universal, but sometimes they are most applicable, most urgent for a particular group, and that's usually going to be the black community. Understanding the purpose of opposition. We know that when we lift weights, and you see a picture of a man bench pressing here, he is receiving opposition. Now, without going too deeply scientific, the opposition is gravity, of course. The weight he has on each end of the weight bar is coming down. The force of gravity is forcing that weight down. And of course, we know that the more weight you have on the bar, the greater the opposition. Okay. What is his purpose? What is his task? What is his duty? His duty is to do the opposite. It's to force upward that weight that is coming downward. So again, the opposition he's having is with the force of gravity. And the weight on his bar is what's causing the opposition. But it is his duty to force the opposition the other way. Now, the wisdom of that, which our bodies let us know, it is said, as above, so below, as within, so without, in a Hermes Trismegistus. As above, so below, as within, so without. So the wisdom of our form, what happens to our forms, our bodies when we're lifting weights, when we're bench pressing, is the same for our minds and every other aspect of our being. And what I mean here very simply is what he's doing by properly dealing with this opposition, this weight, forcing its way down on him. He going the opposite way. He's building great strength, endurance, and stamina. Strength, endurance, and stamina. Not to mention he's sculpting a very nice physique in the process. Okay. Brothers and sisters, it is absolutely essential that we understand that this is the wisdom of opposition. This is what we have to know about opposition, whether it's lifting weights, whether it's dealing with someone who called us out of our name, someone who cussed us out, our woman who's saying things to us that tempt us or that hurt our feelings. No matter what the situation is, our manager at work is rubbing us the wrong way, whatever it is, it's the same principle involved in lifting weights. Now, if the individual lifting weights is wise, he or she knows, or at least has a pretty good idea of the amount of opposition he or she can take at that time. In other words, the amount of weight that they can bench press. Now, their form will let them know when they cannot resist this opposition any longer, when it's a bit too much for them to take on at this time. Okay. But as they continue, through practice, through constant repetition, as my master teacher, Dr. David M. Berry, often reminded us, through constant repetition, he will build up, or she will build up, the strength, endurance, and stamina to deal with that opposition. Now, let's take this a step further so we can really round out the great wisdom involved in understanding opposition. Now, once the young man continues to resist this opposition, continues to build his strength, endurance, and stamina, continues to add more weight so that he can resist even more. What he's able to do, and this is so critically important and so critically applicable to life universally, he can go out and teach others the proper technique, the proper equipment to use, proper breathing techniques, and everything involved in becoming a good, strong bodybuilder, weightlifter. He can help others increase their strength, endurance, and stamina. But we have to understand that it is opposition. So my young black brothers, when you receive opposition, when someone spews a vulgarity at you or spews profanity at you, understand that you're to go the opposite way. If the man bench pressing goes the same way as the opposition to him, he'll cave in his chest. He'll injure himself. He may even kill himself. If you're squatting and you don't understand the opposition you're dealing with, you don't understand, or the secret enemy, the enemy within, tricks you into thinking that you can deal with this opposition, you can deal with more opposition than you actually can, then you will cause serious harm, serious damage to your form. So it is critically important. It is the culmination of wisdom within you to understand, listen, this is opposition. And you have to have the wisdom to know whether it's opposition you can deal with it or not. Now, for some people, they can put 300 pounds on a bench press. They know that they can overcome this opposition. Some people know, well, listen, I better start at about 100. They know that that's about all the opposition they can endure on the bench press bar. It's the same in life, brothers and sisters. We have to know the opposition we're dealing with and how much we can take and what we should do about it. We have to know that we're to repel, to go the opposite way of the opposition. Someone tells you, bleep you, it may not be wise to tell them, well, bleep you then. You may need to go the other way. Well, forgive me, let me take that higher. It is likely you need to go the other way. Most of the times, 99% of the times, you need to go the other way. But what does that do for you? It builds your mental and emotional strength, endurance, and stamina. You can help save someone else's life, just like the weightlifter can help someone else build their strength, endurance, and stamina once they learn how to deal with the opposition of the weight bar. Your form will also let you know when it's had enough. I think I've actually made this point. I'm just refining it, if you will. Your plan may have been to do 4 sets of 12. So you properly completed the first 3 sets of 12, but that 4th set, you were only able to get 9. Now your form lets you know, well, listen, I'm not going to be able to complete these last 3. And if I keep going, I'm going to cause myself a great deal of harm. This weight bar is going to crash down on my chest, and I'm going to be seriously injured. We have to do the same with opposition from one another, whether it's a brother in the street, whether it's your own family member, whether it's your girlfriend, the mother of your children, your wife. You have to understand, okay, this is too much opposition now. I need to put this weight bar back on the rack, regain my strength, endurance, and deal with this another time. Okay, now what I'm expressing here is analogous, of course. So not every single aspect to the T matches the life principle, but I trust the overall theme, the overall principle has been received. Life, brothers and sisters, universally is no different than lifting weights, bench pressing, squatting, etc. It is simply opposition that you must overcome to build yourself higher and higher and higher in life. It is simply opposition you must acquire the wisdom to overcome, to build yourself higher and higher. If it's weightlifting, you're building muscles, muscle mass, strength, endurance, stamina. If it's life, you're building endurance. You're building tolerance, understanding. You're gaining wisdom about how to deal with this opposition properly so that it doesn't cause me harm. It doesn't destroy me. And as I continue to repeat this process over and over again, I will build up enough strength, endurance, and stamina that I can go out and teach others now. I can go out and teach others how to build the same thing. This is my life's mission, brothers and sisters. I'm a student of life. And this is one of the many life principles, life lessons I've learned, to whom I give a great deal of credit. My master teacher, Dr. David M. Berry, and also my brothers and sisters of New Age Truth in Missouri. Opposition, brothers and sisters. It is a universal law, actually. It is a universal law. Many call it the law of opposites. The law of polarity. Okay, but without getting too deep into that, we trust that the analogy we're using, the real life, practical and applicable analogy of weightlifting, understanding that weightlifting is simply a matter of opposition that has to be overcome. And every time you overcome it properly, you build yourself higher and higher. You make yourself a more refined, beautiful, awesome being. So, my brothers, most particularly my urban brothers, listen, I love you. I love you dearly, my brothers. It breaks my heart to see us destroying one another out here. And the reason we're destroying one another is because we don't know how to properly deal with opposition from one another. We don't know how much opposition we can endure. And it ends up crashing down on us and smashing, caving our chest in, if you follow my analogy. I trust you do. So you go the other way. You neutralize the opposition. Just like the weightlifter neutralizes the opposition by pushing the bar back up. Whether it's 8 times, 10 times, 12 times, until he realizes, listen, I can't deal with this anymore. Let me rack it. Then I'll come back and try to finish later. And if I get some soreness or feel some pain, some uncommon pain somewhere, let me leave this alone for now. There may be some tearing in my cartilage or my joints, shoulders or something. I don't want to go too far with that because I trust you understand the point. You need to do the same thing, my brothers. We all need to do the same thing, my brothers. Don't give in to the opposition. You repel it. It will build you up, brothers and sisters. It will build you up. So I think we'll digress now. I think we've expressed what we've wanted to express about this matter. Understanding the purpose of the wisdom of opposition, brothers and sisters. Again, click the like button. It would help me tremendously. Subscribe to the page. And please, if you found this message necessary, beneficial, and worthwhile, please share it with others. Thank you for your time and consideration. Love and harmony, Brother Osiris.